Felt like someone was stabbing me with a knife. I knew he was big, but I didn't know how big.
So is he over 10 pounds?
10 pounds, 4 ounces.
Do you guys believe in soulmates?
Yes.
Actually?
No, you don't.
Oh, because that
we got
started
in
a fight.
Yeah, it
You guys
started a
got in a
fight.
big fight about that during premarital counseling.
The biggest divorce rate is empty nesters when all your kids are gone.
Wait, really? I had no idea.
The largest percentage. It could be easy to just go our separate, like you start doing your hobbies and I'll do my hobbies. We're committed. We would never get a divorce. One of us would just be dead. We would just kill the other.
Don't do that.
I'm kidding.
My body would never be found.
What's up, dudes?
And welcome back to the Unplanned podcast.
Yay!
Today we are joined by my parents. This is their second appearance on the podcast. You guys are only our second guest to appear on the podcast twice.
Wow.
So
we're honored.
We're popular.
Hey, we're honored to have you here. I'm honored that you're wearing our merch. Thank you.
I love these. These are comfortable.
What do you,
Soft.
what do you guys think about it?
Yeah,
Give me your
comfortable.
honest feedback on the merch.
I like it.
It really is warm and cozy. It feels nice and soft.
It's quality. I can tell it's got quality fabric.
I like this color.
Weight.
That makes me
We
happy.
didn't
Quality
pay them
weight.
to say that, by the way.
Yeah, this is honestly their
This is
their
free,
real
right?
feedback.
I get it free.
You get it
We
free.
will give it to you for free.
I'm kidding.
Talk to us afterward. We will pull some
We will
strings.
ship it to your house.
This is a
We can
good
ship
color.
it to you.
I like this
Isn't
color.
the blue cool?
Yeah.
I really
I
like
like
it.
the blue, but I really like the black.
Oh, you like the black
Yes.
more? Because I kind of like. I think people might like the blue more, but you're
This
digging
is
the black.
unique.
When you get fat like me, then you wear the black. It hides my belly.
It covers a lot of.
Slimming.
I'm excited to have you guys on today because I just realized you have been married for 31 years. That is a long time.
It
31,
feels
yeah.
longer.
It feels long.
Just seems longer.
Do you remember what life was like before marriage?
It's wonderful.
No, stop.
She said no, stop.
Mom, what about you? Do you remember life before marriage?
Not hardly.
It just
No,
kind of feels like you've eternally been married to this man.
I can't imagine any other way.
Man.
No, it has been wonderful.
Do you guys believe in soulmates?
Yes.
Actually?
No, you don't.
Oh, because
This
that
is what got
started
in
a
a
fight.
fight.
Yeah, it
Wait,
started a
you guys
fight.
got in a big fight about that during premarital counseling, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
we were
wanna
at the
tell the
church,
story?
and our survey indicated that we were a perfect match, but there was a couple things that we were pretty far apart
Extremely
on.
different on.
And it was about, you feel like this is the only person that you could be married to and be happy? And I said no, and Mom said yes.
Yeah,
And
like
it
I was like 10, yes, because
and
it's
I was
like
like
2 weeks
2.
before the marriage. I'm like, yes,
Dang.
it's my one and only. And he's like, absolutely not. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And so that really hurt your feelings.
Yeah, because the way I thought about it is like if I lived in a different state and
Yeah.
never met Mom, I'm sure I'd probably find somebody as nice, but not as pretty, that I could be married to and enjoy my life with.
Good answer.
Yeah, Abby and
Yeah.
I were talking about that because we kind of both agree that we don't believe in soulmates. So, what about you? Has your opinion changed?
I think you swayed my opinion.
Oh,
on
I
that.
did?
Yeah, because I think, like, if you wouldn't have been so logical about it, I would have been like, yeah, I think we are soulmates. Like, I couldn't be with anyone else.
yeah.
But your logical brain has changed my brain to think about things more logically, I guess.
Has your opinion changed, Mom?
Yes, because my brain is logical too. But this, like I said, this was like within weeks of the wedding.
Yeah.
So I was all goo and in wedding mode and in love, which is good. And I'm
Yes.
still in love. But
Me too.
being that I have a logical brain, I was like, you're right. There's somebody in Alaska. There's somebody in
Yeah.
California. There's somebody,
I
you
think
know.
relationships, no matter if it's a spouse or a friend, takes work. You know, there's friends that I've had years ago, and I don't see them very often. We've kind of grown apart, and the same thing happens if you're not together and you're doing things on a regular basis. You grow apart.
Yeah.
And whether it's somebody you met in your state or you met far, far away, it just takes effort. And if you're apart from that person, you lose that relationship. You lose that bond.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
a
you
really
agree
good point.
when you think that's
Yeah, and-
true?
Oh, totally.
Communication.
So
you're-
we
it's
the
try to
key
spend time every night together, and I think it's important that I had an opportunity to go to Peoria, Illinois. It been a lot more money, and I knew that would not be good for our life, our marital life. So I decided not to pursue that because I just knew that once you get displaced, and we know people that are living that kind of life where
Wait,
they
you're
work.
talking about like a job opportunity that
Yeah.
happened recently? Where you
No,
had-
this is about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
recent.
and you were thinking about like living separate lives almost that you can make
Yeah,
more money?
during the
I
week.
didn't interview for the position, but the guy who I knew worked for a company that I work for, and I said, "Hey, we think you might be a good fit. We'd be interested." And he told me how much money it was going to be. And
A lot.
It was more than 3 times, almost 5 times as much money as I'm making. So
Wow.
it's very, very tempting. And I didn't interview because I realized if I go up to Peoria and I'm away from mom and the family, and this is 3 years ago, whatever, it just wouldn't be good.
It's not healthy.
Not healthy.
I mean, if you have to do it for a period, people do what they have to do. But
Yeah.
long term, I don't think it's healthy.
But there's lots of people that do that. They live their lives where one of them has to be apart, and it's just tough,
Yeah.
Celebrities have that issue. People
We're not
in the,
celebrities.
in the
You
entertainment
guys are
industry.
celebrities.
Oh,
You
we are celebrities.
Yeah, you guys are a fan favorite on the pod. Hey, serious note though, has there ever been a time in the 31 years that you've been married that you didn't think you were going to make it, or that you thought, oh, this is really hard. I don't know how we're going to move forward.
Probably about 4 or 5 times, I guess.
Are you serious?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to quantify it, but yeah, there was times where we were bickering,
Ups and downs.
I'd say, look,
Wait, bickering? No.
bickering. And if you think it'd be better off that I'm gone, I'll pick up and leave. And I really didn't want to leave because I love her, and I would hate to be apart from mom, but we were just kind of having a tough time. But we worked through it.
It's not 50-50, as you guys know. It's sometimes you're giving 100 and the other person's giving 10, and it's just commitment. We're committed to each other, and one of the biggest is, I think the biggest divorce rate is empty nesters, when all your kids are gone.
Wait, really?
That's
I had no idea.
the largest percentage, because you're just in this grind mode of you take him there, I'm here, you're there, here's dinner, and you don't even have time to think, and you try to fit each other in, which we tried to do that, always have time for each other, because you don't want the kids to be gone and then be like, what is your name? I don't even remember you. So I was pretty good and intentional about scheduling, our time, weekends away or whatever, once a year, so that we could stay.
Oh yeah,
in love.
I remember the big. Was it her 40th? Or
Yeah.
no, 50th?
Yeah, 40th.
40th.
You guys went to Hawaii
Yeah.
for a big
Yes,
trip, and
that
it was a week away from the kids.
Yep. So that
That
was,
was huge.
17 years ago.
Yeah.
Something
As
like that.
parents, was that hard to be away from the kids? Because how old were they at that time?
Oh, you guys are little.
Oh,
Matt, you
Yeah.
were 25.
So Josh
I
was
was 7.
3.
I was 7.
3.
Yeah, that was the hardest. Josh was 3, Matt was 7, and Caleb was 9. And I think we kidded about this. Matt could have cared less because they were
He's very independent.
They were with each of my sisters, mom, grandmas, like 2-3 days with each person. No one
Okay.
could handle them more than 2 days because it was a lot,
a lot.
3, 7, and 9. But Caleb wanted to talk to us every day, and Josh did. But Matt was like, hey, bye, see ya.
Well, one of our relatives had a trampoline, and you guys wouldn't let us have a trampoline.
I know.
So you would call, and I'm like, I'm doing backflips on the trampoline. I don't want to talk right now. This is so much
That's
fun.
so
Yeah,
mad.
yeah. Well, they had all girls, so it was a little safer, but you were boys. But so anyway, lately we've been reading books on empty nesters and how to communicate and how to spark that fire, and just doing our bucket list of what we want to do now that
Yeah.
everybody's out of the house.
So do you enjoy, as far as your marriage, is your marriage better or worse now that kids are out of the house?
It's kind of hard to say. It's just a different
Season.
different intensity, I guess, as to what makes you happy. I guess we have more time and we have the challenges of the kids. So it's a little bit more freedom, I guess, that we have to do what we want to do.
But that's why we're working on it. Like it could be
Okay.
easy to just go our separate, like you start doing your hobbies and I'll do my hobbies. That's the book I'm reading so they didn't have the busyness of their family, but they each started doing all the things that they wanted
really?
to do that they couldn't with kids
Okay.
instead of doing them together. So like we've been walking the Katy Trail, we've been going to Augusta and just walking the Katy Trail and going to the winery or these beer gardens or whatever just for the day. That's in our backyard.
But we've also been working on a bathroom project. It takes a lot of time. And Mom's done 97% of the planning
Wow.
And that's what
coordination.
this family did too. You let everything go in the house when you have kids. You know what I mean? Especially 3 boys, it just got destroyed. And now we're fixing up everything. And Dad just fixed up a gym in the basement.
Who's going to work out in that gym?
Guests, people come to visit.
We'll charge you.
I still can't believe you're
Get a
building a
membership.
whole gym. I'm like, you don't even work out at your own house.
Yes,
How would you
he
build a
will.
house?
Yes,
oh
he
my
will.
gosh.
So our unfinished part of the basement just didn't have any drywall, and I just thought it'd be a little bit more appealing to me if I could put a TV down there
Classy.
and have something that's a little more appealing and inviting. And I need to get some better lighting. So, but anyway, it's pretty much done. And we had a little leak in our expansion tank, which sprayed water everywhere, but I got that fixed, and we're excited for you guys to see
Who
it.
cleans your house now that there's no kids there to clean it for you? Because I used to clean up
It
all the hair.
doesn't get dirty.
I cleaned all the hair off of your bathroom
Oh,
floor
please.
with the little sticky roller, and
Stop.
that was for pet dander. That wasn't even supposed to be for human dander, but it worked.
Because
And I thought everybody did that. I thought
Dad's hair.
I thought
Dad's
every
a
kid
hairy
picked
monster.
up. I think you both are. I mean, there was so much hair on that floor.
This is the only thing I lose. He's no.
Yeah, you wait. Those two little boys you got, they're going to make messes where you didn't think you could have more of a messy thing. And it's just a
Yeah.
constant battle.
Yeah.
Seriously, did you guys hire a cleaner? What are you doing?
No.
For
Yeah, she's got me.
You were good about having your boys do stuff around the house and be
Learn.
respectful.
Yes.
Like, I guess, what are some of your best tips for, like, we have 2 boys now, not 3 yet.
Got 2.
I feel like we're going to have a 3rd boy. I'm just saying it. I really feel like we will.
Probably so.
And
No.
that'll be the end.
We
I
have
already
a little
have
girl,
named.
and I'm going to spoil her rotten.
I would love a little girl. Anyway, not about us.
No.
What are your best tips for raising little boys or little kids in general?
I guess my biggest tip is just give them the time they need, and you guys are doing a great job with it. You're raising 2 wonderful little boys. I know you're just getting started with it, but just being understanding, and it's more about your relationship with them than the stuff. I came home one time and Mom was trying to get the boys to clean something, and they put this cleaner on the carpet and it created a stain. And I was so upset that our nice house is going to have this permanent stain.
It's still there.
And it's still there.
The white
And you know
spot
what?
on the carpet.
Was that Josh or me?
It's
don't
more important that you guys are learning to clean and helping your mom, and that our house was lived in. It didn't have to be perfect. It was about your relationship with your family, not how pretty the house was. And I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. So if something gets ruined or messed up, don't make a big deal about it. I know it kind of stinks. It's money. You're trying to keep your house nice, but it's more important to have that relationship with your child than it has to have a perfectly clean house.
That's
Well,
great.
yeah, but if you're a perfectionist, which I can be or used to be, you know, you can do it better than they can, and it's going to take way longer to show them at 2 or 3 how to fold towels or whatever, and it's going to look bad. But you just have to take a deep breath and be like, this in the long run, this is good.
That's
you know
how
what I
you
mean?
learn.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I cleaned that bathroom floor pretty good. You would tell me, hey, Matt, can I eat off of this? Because if I can't eat off of it, it's not clean enough.
Well, the other thing
Yeah.
is, you know, your boys are little now. They're not at that age where they start fighting. But Mom came home one time when you and Caleb were having a big fight, and Caleb had you some type of a headlock.
This was like
and you
high
were
school.
scratching him. His neck was
Oh,
just all
gosh.
scratched up, bleeding,
Oh.
and you're all red faced. And she told me about it, and I
This
thought it
was
was
high
somewhat
school?
funny,
But
but
that's
it's
rare.
also scary because you get to a certain point, you can hurt each other.
But
And,
that was rare.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys didn't really fight that much.
No.
How
No.
did you do that? Because I'm like literally actively dreading the day that Griffin and Augie start fighting with each other.
I swear.
It's going to happen.
It depends
It's
on
natural.
your oldest. It really, because we saw a lot of boy families in baseball, because John coached a lot of baseball and soccer, and we would go on these tournaments, and there was an older boy with little brothers, and they would be so mean to them, and the parents would do nothing, and it just broke my heart. But Caleb set the standard. I mean, I'm not saying it's anything to do with us. I'm saying he has a great heart and was a very good big brother. And I think that trickled down, to Matt, which then trickled down to Josh. Like, I think he really helped to make it a good situation.
And I think you got on top of those things right away.
I did.
If you let
I
it
did.
fester, then it's hard to kind of bring it back down to a level where you can manage it. So you're doing a good job if you tell Griffin, hey, be good to your little brother. Don't hit him. Don't be mean. All those kind of things. And it just, then he realizes, oh, this is my little brother. I got to be good to my little brother. And I think that's important to learn at an early age,
'Cause
because
I
later
would
on
say-
they'll have some issues.
There's so much ugliness in the world and people beating up on each other. We're going to be good to each other in this house. And I think we might have talked about that last time. Not every night, but a lot of nights we'd go around the table and everybody had to say one nice thing about each
I
person.
remember that.
It sounds kind of corny, but you got to look for
It
the
lifts
positives.
them up. It
and
lifts you
like
up.
people that I've watched some of your comments where people say negative things about you. It's like, I don't understand why people would follow somebody just so they can haunt them and say something negative. Just be positive. Be positive.
I
These
agree
two
with you,
people
Dad.
are great people. They're doing a good job raising these two little boys, and they would not want nothing better than for their fan base to enjoy their friends and family and do good for each other. And you guys do that, so thank you.
That's really nice. Thanks,
That's
Dad.
so
Sure.
nice. They're literally like some of our biggest fans. It's so
You're so-
sweet.
you guys-
I feel like you guys listen to every podcast.
Not
pretty
everyone.
much.
Almost. We
90%.
used to, but yeah,
too
Do
most.
you watch every podcast or YouTube video? Like,
Almost.
We watched them that we disclose some things that
We didn't
don't wanna know about.
Like babies being
I
conceived
forget
in
you
our
guys
house.
watch every episode. So I'm like, oh my
And every once
gosh.
in a while you say, oh my gosh, my parents are going to watch this.
Yeah.
This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And as soon as we watch it, we send you a message.
Or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Groupon. Someone
think-
said they use Groupon,
I
and
think
you're
you guys
like,
figured out that we conceived our child at Thanksgiving
Yeah.
last year at your house. So
you go,
there's
my
always
mom
that.
uses Groupon all the time. That's
Yeah,
how I'm
you are a
using
big Grouponer.
my.
You are big into coupons, Mom. You have stashes of coupons in your house,
Used
like
to.
everywhere.
Used to.
Oh, you don't. So is it now
You're
all
not into
virtual?
couponing?
Yeah, it's
No,
more
you're-
virtual now.
But that's nice. You have less clutter.
I know.
Is Mom decluttering a little bit? Or is
What
there
a
still-
blessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's things that she's getting rid of.
Okay.
One thing I've started to do for her is I get her flowers about once a month. She really likes
More
flowers.
Wow,
than
that's
that,
sweet.
you've been almost like once a week.
That's nice. Good
Well,
job, Dad.
Right before they clear out all the flowers at the cemetery, that's why you usually go in and
Oh
get
my
something nice.
That was
You
a
can
good
find
one.
some really good decorations.
So
Has
that's
Dad
the,
gotten funnier as he's gotten older?
Yeah.
Or you think
I
so?
just
Yeah.
think I'm funny.
Okay.
So this is the thing, you know, when you have 3 kids and I stayed home some and worked part-time some, and you're always just saving for them and their college, you know, I was like, I don't need flowers. Like, that's just a waste of money. It's frivolous. I always said that. And now I'm like having a different mindset. I'm like, Josh is a junior. You and Caleb are gone. I want to have flowers sometimes. So it's almost every week you get
Yeah,
the
it's not
flowers.
so much the flowers, just it's the idea
It's
that
so
I'm
beautiful.
thinking of her and I come home with
Yeah.
flowers and she goes, oh my gosh, he thought about me
So
today.
I have them Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I work from home Monday, and I just can sit with them, and it's nice.
For Abby, that's coffee. I'll go and get her a coffee like almost every morning, and she
Yeah.
loves it. It was crazy the first time that I did it. The day was just amazing. She was so happy. It was just a great
Ooh.
day, and I thought, man, I need to do this.
No, but
literally
like
every
you
day.
said, it's not about the actual thing. It's that you thought of us.
Right.
And
Right.
that
Yeah.
you went and did something.
Right.
And
Right.
I think about you all the time, but usually I don't accompany it by an action. So if I have an action that accompanies that, then you're aware. Oh,
You think
Matt,
about me all the time.
of course.
Aw,
I think
positive thoughts.
By the way, can we just spam the comments with Abby looks so cute in her headband? I don't
Yes.
know why she never wears headbands, but this little headband she's wearing today is so
Because I feel like Alice
cute.
in Wonderland.
I love it. I've never seen you wear.
Alice.
I haven't seen you wear a headband in years. I don't know why
No,
you
I've
decided to
never
wear that
worn
today,
one.
but it's so cute.
I've always thought it drew too much attention to my ears.
I think you have cute ears.
They're
You're
little
really
bitty.
pretty. You're really, really
I
pretty.
do have little ears.
You're
Maybe
just
that's
a
why
really.
it's kind of hard for me to hear.
You're a lovely mom.
And
you
it,
look
with,
so good.
as a
Thanks,
mom,
babe.
it's really helpful to keep your hair out of your face.
Especially nursing, I'm like looking down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is great.
So
look
send in the
gorgeous.
headbands.
I know, I just got 2 more headbands from Amazon for $5.25.
No way. Wait, is it
Awesome.
because I complimented it last
Yeah.
night, and then you were like, "I want to get more of these"?
No, you complimented
It's
it.
cute.
Oh, I did that today. That's
Yeah,
right.
So I
okay.
just did buy now.
Oh, before I forget, so we ate at a restaurant with these two this afternoon, and on the way out, some fans recognized you, and you guys did a great job when somebody recognized you, and you took pictures with these little kids, and it meant the world for this little girl to be able to have her picture taken with
Yeah,
you guys.
that was
So
precious.
that's something that I've watched and observed, because if it was I in your position, I might be tired, don't want to do it. You guys just light up, and it's really neat to see how you guys I guess
Support your fans.
Support your fans and just react to how fans are so happy, because they're going to see you one time, maybe in their whole life, and for you to take your time out of your day to support their interest in you and take pictures. That's really neat. It's really
That's
cute.
so
Thanks, Dad.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really nice.
No, it's really important. I see that. So
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
precious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, back to the raising boys thing. I totally forgot my question.
Well, okay, wait. Something about having kids. You guys,
attention deficit.
you guys got married, but then you waited almost 5 years
Yeah,
to have
almost.
kids.
Whoa, hold
We
up.
got married in '92. Caleb was born in '96.
And that
4
was in
years.
your 30s, because I told Abby the other day, we could literally wait like 8 years to have more children, and that
Yeah.
would be in our 30s just like you did, because you were 30 and Dad was 32 when you had Caleb, right?
Yeah.
I think, we dated 2 years and then got engaged, and then we're engaged a year. So we were together 3 years before
Okay.
we got married. And then, we waited 4.5 before we had Caleb. So really we were
Whoa.
together 7.5 years. And we just always talked, no one in my family had ever divorced, but my mom and dad did right when we were getting married.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, we really want to make sure this is right. There's no need to rush. And unfortunately, John's family, his dad, that happened quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we don't want this to happen. Well, this is forever. We're getting this is a covenant.
I was very concerned about making the wrong decision and getting divorced. I wanted to make sure I waited until I.
So we waited to get married.
was
We
ready,
knew
I
after
guess.
3 months we were going to get married.
Okay.
But we waited 3 years just to get, because you need to go through all the ups and downs and all, there's going to be valleys, there's going to be mountains, and there were, and we did it. And then we were like, let's just enjoy our time and then have kids and not think, oh, I wish we could go out and I wish we could do this and I wish, we had some fun. And then we were ready to stay home, and so we're committed for life. I said, we would never get a divorce. One of us would just be dead. We would just kill the other.
Don't do that.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I
It's a
see
joke.
you watching Dateline all the time,
Yeah,
Mom. I
48
wonder what
hours
that is.
Dateline. She knows how to get rid of me,
He
and
says
my
it's-
body would never be found.
How to kill your husband. It's always how to kill your
You
wife.
heard it right here, folks. If there's anything ever happens to my parents, you know how it happened.
Matt, there's no way that we could drag your dead bodies anywhere. Think about how heavy you'd be.
Yeah.
Why are you talking about this right now? You're into that too. Abby listens to Crime Junkie. It's like a murder
Crime
podcast.
Junkie?
I would have to push you off of a cliff or something.
Abby knows
and
how to
make
kill
sure
people
it's-
very efficiently. She
don't.
listens to this stuff all the time.
It's the interesting stuff.
It's
about it.
honestly, I feel like it's a woman's innate urge to figure out how to stay alive because it's always the women.
Right. 99%
We're
of the
always
time,
being
it's the guy doing
predated.
it.
I heard about that one where the two best friends ended up having a little something come up, and one of the best friends hooked up with his other best friend's wife, and then they murdered the best friend.
Yeah, but she had a man do it with her.
Well, I guess she was the culprit. She was the one that
They
convinced.
said that he got eaten by crocodiles.
It wasn't true. She just had the guy.
Gosh.
killed.
Okay,
Honestly,
let's
it's
go to
just
something
really
good.
sad.
Yeah, let's think about positive
no,
things.
we
Yeah.
just,
Okay.
But I think that stuff is selfish when people make those decisions. It's
Yeah.
just selfish.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. We love using SeatGeek to find the best deals on shows, games, everything from above.
Everything from the above. And we actually went to a show on my birthday a year and a half ago using SeatGeek. And what's really nice is you can find deals on tickets by using their tool to see if they're in the red, the green, the yellow. Green obviously means you got a good deal. SeatGeek has pricing technology to tell you when it's a good deal and when it's not a good deal. So they make it super easy for you to buy tickets, find deals. You can literally do it right on your phone or your computer if you're old school.
Yeah. And we've used it much more frequently than just a year and a half ago. I think that was just the first time we... Actually, no, it wasn't even the first time.
Wait, was that the first time we used SeatGeek?
No, but
okay.
we've used it before, then we've used it many times since. I even looked recently for us to go to the Nutcracker. It is the best, most simple app. And, we came through for you guys. We have a code. Use our code Unplanned for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code Unplanned. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app.
Thank you. Now back to the episode. You didn't have kids for, you said 3.5 years?
4.5.
4.5.
Just to make sure they were going to stay together.
But Dad, I remember there was a time in your life where you thought you would never get married and
Oh,
you
yeah.
thought you would never have kids. Why did you decide to have kids? What changed?
A short skirt and tan legs.
That sounds awful.
That's weird. Okay.
I'm pretty deep. No, I'm a shallow guy. I saw Mom. I was like, wow, she is hot. So I just walked right over to her, introduced myself, and the rest is history.
There's much prettier women that you saw before.
Hey, you know
that.
what? Who's the gal that reminds me of you? And I took a picture, compared your eyes to her eyes.
Oh, no,
The
I
celebrity.
don't look anything like
What's her name?
Just don't.
Come
no.
on, what's her name?
Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum. So Heidi Klum and Mom have the same eyes and nose. So I took a picture of Mom and Heidi Klum. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Hang on a second." I edited it and showed both of them, and her eyes and nose.
He's
both of
losing
them were
his
very
eyesight.
Similar.
So
Anyway.
maybe she's your other soulmate, Maybe she's the other
Yes.
person
Yes.
that could have
is.
worked out with.
No, I think your mother is beautiful, and I couldn't be happier.
That doesn't make sense.
But
you
you-
went from
okay.
not wanting to get married and
But
have
yeah, but
kids.
kids-
Well,
though,
I
what-
didn't think I could be
Happy.
being married and having to deal with kids and all the stuff that goes on with kids. I just wanted to be rich, famous, and do whatever I wanted to do and just be all about me. And then I had two guys I worked with, Mike and I can't
doesn't
remember.
matter.
So anyway, I was talking to
just
two
say
of them,
Dave.
and one guy was traveling and going to Hawaii and just having a great time. And then Mike was married, had 3 daughters, and he spent all his time on his kids and money on his kids, and they were doing dance classes and everything. And he drove an older vehicle, and the other guy had a hot rod car. And I was like, I don't want to be like the other guy and not be like Mike. And Mike sat me down. He was my boss, and he goes, now look, someday you're going to wish you had a family, and it's going to be important that you have family. And family's more important than a car that's going to rot and rust and everything else.
Yeah.
And he was right. So I look at me here. I'm blessed to have a wonderful son, grandson, and great daughter-in-law, and couldn't be happier.
That's
You really
sweet.
wished you had a daughter, though.
Yes, yeah. But someday I'll have a granddaughter.
You think
We're
so?
trying.
You think it's gonna
we
happen?
only have
Yeah.
He
boys.
will.
Yeah.
But when you
think-
got married though, did you guys always know that you were going to have kids, or was that a topic of
Yeah,
discussion?
we talked about
It was
it.
just a quantity.
And
we're gonna
he
have.
wanted 3 and I wanted 3. So
Right.
that was good. We always said 3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
That is
why.
really good.
And people say, oh, when you ride the roller coaster, you have an odd person, all this weird stuff. It's like,
How often are you on a roller coaster?
exactly. John or I'll
Or
sit
if you're
alone.
in a booth having dinner at a restaurant,
pull up a
you can
chair.
have a set of 4. Having 5 is difficult, but sometimes spouse is not there, or one of the kids is going to a friend's house, and then one day somebody said, well, now you got your golf foursome. So I got 3 boys and myself. I was like, yep, someday I'll have to take my boys out and have a golf foursome. We've never done it, but
Yeah, we've never
it'd
done
be
that.
cool to do that.
But I actually wanted all 3 boys. John, unfortunately, like most people in middle school, I was bullied, my 8th grade year, and girls were lying, saying I was doing all these wild things that I didn't even know what they were. I was just so clean cut. And I was crying myself to sleep every night. And I was like, for a period, and I thought, I am miserable. Like, if this was my daughter, I would want to go up to school and wring some necks. And you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought most of my friends were guys. They're just, this is a compliment, like simpler, straightforward, say it
Yeah.
like it is, move on. And so I had mostly guy friends, and I was like, God, I just want 3 boys, just 3 boys. And so I wanted that. Now,
And-
John,
Oh yeah.
he wanted a
little
girl. But I think if I'd have had a girl, he'd have forgot about me.
And when you were working full time as an engineer, you started to have kids. Which by the way, congratulations on. Like I didn't realize as a kid how cool that was that my mom got her engineering degree. I didn't realize how hard that was to do, and I didn't realize that you were like a pioneer in that too, because not very many women went to school and got a civil engineering degree and did what you did. So like kudos to you, Mom. That's
No.
awesome that you did that.
People do a lot harder things.
But when you started to have kids, why did you decide to quit your job and become a stay-at-home mom?
Well, I feel so bad for people that have to work unless they want to work outside the home. Some women do, but I wanted to raise my own kids. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but we had some financial issues, so I worked part-time with you and Caleb. I worked 20 hours a week. And then with Josh, it was just too much because Dad was working lots of hours and all
Yeah.
weekend. And so I stayed home full time. And then I went back part time. And now I'm full time again now that everybody's out of the house. But I wanted to raise my kids. I thought, why am I having kids if I'm not going to be a part of their life? You know what I mean? But like I said, some people can't afford it. And I don't know how, you guys have said that too. I don't know how single parents do it. I don't.
Yeah.
That would be the most difficult job. And people that work outside the home and a single parent, it's just, woo. But anyway, I love being a mom, and I just had the degree to fall back on, and it's served us well, right? A few times
Yeah.
that Dad's had some job challenges, and I could step up, and that's what being a partner is about.
Yeah, and you're back now. You're back working full time as an
Yeah.
engineer. That's pretty cool.
For 5.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've always
Yeah.
worked in a sales capacity. It's performance based. So you can have a good year, you have a bad year, and if you don't have a good year, just like a professional athlete, they can't keep you around if you're not driving in runs or pitching well. So
Yeah.
in sales, if you're not hitting your numbers, they don't keep you. So that's why I think you guys have been a little gun shy about going to a sales career. You're something different now, but I think sales career is a great career, but sometimes it's pretty tough because no matter what you do, sometimes you just can't close that deal, and it's tough.
When you look back on memories of raising me and my two brothers and what those times looked like, are there certain moments that you wish you could go back to? Are there certain times that you felt, oh, maybe I was
Also, who is your
working-
most troublemaking child?
Well, we've already discussed that.
Who is
He's
it?
at the mic right
I wonder
now.
who it is.
You.
Was that the hardest to raise of all the boys?
I think you just had a lot of questions,
Okay.
and I think that's probably the biggest thing is Caleb didn't ask the questions you asked, but you were very curious
were
about how things
spicy.
work and why things happen, and questions about Santa Claus. Since this is going to air right before before Christmas, you were like figuring things out about Santa Claus that other kids your age hadn't thought about, and you just, I don't know, you're just kind of very aware of everything that's going on. You asked a lot of questions.
I remember drilling you about Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah.
I drilled you hard because once I figured everything out, I was like, okay, so then the same must be true about the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, all these people.
Yeah, you challenged your mother big time when you saw a gift in the back of the car.
No, that was
She
Caleb
asked
actually.
you-
Caleb figured it out.
We
With
talked
me,
about that.
we had an interrogation room essentially in second grade. Me and my buddies. Well, we were kind of like interrogating.
Interrogation.
We were just like thinking it was almost like Santa was on trial, and all like me and all my friends were like, okay, what is the evidence? Like, what are you guys seeing in your house that
Oh,
makes you
that's
think that
cute.
Santa's real? And we started to figure it out.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and that's
No,
pretty
and-
advanced to
Yeah.
think and talk like that,
But
because a lot
all-
of little boys your age, that's the last thing they think of.
I've just always questioned
You-
everything. Like
yes.
I wanted to know why. I didn't want to know, oh, this is just the way we do things. I wanted to know the reason why, because I don't know. I didn't want to
You're
just
smart.
accept at face value. This is why we do things, and I'm not going to explain to you.
And that's
the
what
reasons.
everybody said. He's smart is why he asked questions. You wouldn't stop asking questions. And I would answer like 10 in
Yeah.
20 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I've hit my limit. Mom, just because mother said, we're moving on. Because
How-
I was exhausted.
How should we approach the birds and the bees talk with our kids?
I think you let them ask about those things. Don't tell them things they're not ready for.
Okay.
So what's that called when you wait to them to get to age appropriate, where they start asking questions, and don't bring it up and try to force something that's not ready to be exposed to your children.
Yeah.
What
Wait
if they
for
don't
this.
ask? And
Then
it's
Yeah.
just
What
let
if
it
they?
go.
What if they're
Then
like
just let it
in
go.
they're in eighth grade? By 8th grade they've already figured it
Yeah,
out.
8th grade, they usually kind of know that there's something going on. So I would ask questions and see where they're at with their thought process, but don't force it on them till they're ready. But maybe ask them questions.
Yeah, I think you're totally right about that. But I almost think that if your kid is getting a little bit older, you need to have a conversation.
Yes.
Because you want to make sure they're not learning everything from kids in school or from the internet.
Correct.
Because
I
that's
wasn't
not,
told anything. And
Yeah.
my parents were like, oh, yeah, we did. I'm like, I think I would know. If
Were you
that would be a
told me.
memorable conversation.
Yeah.
Did you have a birds and bees talk with your parents, Dad?
We lived in a kind of away from a lot of other families because we lived in a rural environment, and then we moved to this place in Wisconsin where I had some neighbors and they were girls, and then we were playing spin a bottle, kissing and everything. So then my dad had a conversation about
Oh, really?
the birds and the bees because
Really?
he
If you're
knew that
playing
we were
spin the
playing
bottle.
spin the bottle. And
Oh, I thought it was because you
Yeah.
were about to say that it was because you live on a farm, and
Yeah,
that's
and
how a
there's
lot of
animals.
people learned about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
so 8th
Seeing-
grade, we were playing spin
yeah.
the bottle, and my dad found out that my brother and I were going over to the neighbor's house playing spin the bottle with the girls, and he wanted to make sure that we knew that we got to be careful.
Did they have like sex education in school when you guys were kids?
No.
That
Not
wasn't
till-
a thing.
In high
No.
school.
Not. I don't remember ever.
Really?
They did in
Class
high
classes.
school.
Bobby, I'm pretty sure they like gave each kid a banana and were like, here's a condom, here's how you put a banana
Which
on.
why would they even need to do that? Now that you think about it, like
Wow.
What
Yeah.
do you mean?
that seems pretty
I don't know. I guess
straightforward.
I know it's probably straightforward, but kids are stupid, man. Like kids do some stupid stuff. You got to make it pretty.
That's
you got to
true.
make the instructions pretty simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
You
Make it
think
as
they
clear
should
as
use a
possible.
cucumber and not a banana?
I don't know, man. Neither's great.
Okay, enough on that.
All right, let's move
Enough.
on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yes.
Funny. What was the most ornery thing Matt did growing up? I'm just curious.
Ornery. Remember something ornery that we can share here
I
on
drew the
pod-
American
podcast?
Idol logo on our carpet when I was 5 because
Yeah.
I really wanted to be on American Idol.
They were kids markers, but they weren't waterproof.
Yeah.
They were permanent. Who has kids markers that are permanent? And
I
then
don't know.
I think the biggest arguments were over the silly helmet.
Oh,
and now
yeah.
you're the helmet man.
I think helmets are great.
You guys made your point.
But I like to have fun safely. I
Yeah.
call it safely sending it. So if I'm going to do something fun, I want to make sure I'm doing the most to ensure that I'm safe in case I fall off, right? Because there's so many stupid ways to die or stupid ways to get paralyzed or
Right.
have a concussion. You might as well throw the helmet on and
Right.
call it a day.
I guess probably one of the Henri things he did, he's very, once he gets his mind set, he's going to do it. So when you start dating Abby and she lived in Quincy, you're like, I'm going to go visit Abby. And
2 hours
you
away.
were,
2 hours.
Gosh, 18 years old, I guess.
I was
when you started
18. I was about to
2
turn
hours.
So
19.
you just started driving 2 years before, and all of a sudden you're driving by yourself all the way up to Quincy by yourself.
These little
and you're
roads.
just taking off. And one time I think you said, I'm going there, and you're
And we're
guy
like,
stopped
"No, you're
me.
not."
No, you're not. And then we track you with Life 360. Okay, he's almost Quincy.
That was on.
I remember that. And you guys called
Oh, yeah,
Abby's
you called
parents,
my parents.
And you told them, hey, just so you know.
We told
Matt-
him not to
Well,
go.
I didn't want them to think we were crazy. Like, I think it was a school night or something.
I think I might have been off school the next day. Or,
But
I don't know.
she wasn't.
I had 1 month left of school.
I
I was
know.
18, about to turn 19. I was going into college. And so you guys
I
were saying, no, you
know.
can't visit your girlfriend. And I said, I don't know about that.
But that sounds drastic when you were seeing her like every week. It's
Yeah.
not like we were saying you
I will
can't
say
see.
I was old enough to be in college. So there
I
was that.
know. And
Yeah,
that was another
Matt's-
good move too on that. We can
What?
talk about that in a
kindergarten
second.
twice.
My
Kindergarten.
mom held me back. I went to
times
kindergarten
two.
It
twice.
wasn't hold back. It was the gift of time.
That's right.
It was a
I could have
blessing.
been medicated, though, for ADHD.
You wouldn't have your creativity. No, it would
I could have probably just taken it maybe like a day or two a week.
No,
I'm
Well, one
still
of the neat things
unmedicated.
you did is you were in the box and you wanted to ask her to homecoming or something.
Yeah.
And so Lori helped out with this gift idea. So you showed up, put this box in the front.
They've shown it.
Yeah, front porch. And they just ended their song that you just released with Abby laughing of you coming out of that box. I thought it was a real cute way to end that.
So I wasn't trying to narc
song.
on you, letting her parents know. I wanted them to know we were responsible parents and we were not just allowing you to drive up there because you were going up there a lot.
Yeah.
And here you're in high school.
You were in love.
I was so in love. I
You're
was
still
so
in love.
in
is.
love.
Yeah. And we're like, we didn't say this was okay. Like, because I knew they weren't letting you drive because it was small little roads.
Yeah.
It wasn't an interstate. It was pretty dicey.
That was all I knew. I did not know how to drive on an interstate.
Yeah.
So how are you guys going to keep this fire going? That's one of the things that we've tried to do
It's our
as a
interview.
relationship. So I mean, we're trying to keep. I think by being positive and intentional. That's the word. Intentional.
You have to be intentional.
That, I would bring her flowers. I'd massage her back every time. But there's kind of times we fight. But then the makeup is fun too. After you've been fighting, you can make up, and that's fun.
Dad, that is so weird.
What?
The makeup is fun.
I'm not talking about mascara.
I know you're not talking about mascara, Dad.
This is where Matt gets it from, by the way.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. You are my parents.
I'm intentional to a fault. Actually, I don't like go with the flow. I don't like whatever. But the good part of that is like, yeah, every night we eat and he helps me clean up. But then I'm like, okay, are we gonna read a book together? We'll read, and talk
Yeah.
about it, or go for a walk together and talk. We always are intentional about what are we doing together every night.
Right.
And I think that's important. Now, you can't, you guys necessarily, but once everybody's gone, you got to at least have your 10 minutes of being intentional or whatever, with kids. But
Yeah, it's pretty wild to me just because we don't have a normal perspective on life in a lot of ways. But especially because we work together all day, every day.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you guys have your time at night where it's like, this is our intentional time. So it's like, we have to be
yeah.
figuring out where do we put this in the middle of our day.
But I think it's good that
Yeah.
you break away to go work out, and then Matthew does work, and even though he's in the house, is breaking away. He's kind of doing some things on his own. So I think it's healthy, and I think it's healthy once in a while that you do something with
But it
some guy
does-
friends or.
Have to be on the calendar. It,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with you guys having so much. It has to be written down. It has to be on the phones or it won't happen.
And
You
you've
guys
gone
have
to
a weekly
Nashville to
advice.
do some recording, so that's
Yeah.
breaking away from family.
Yeah. Do you guys
So-
have like a weekly date night that you have planned every
Yeah,
like,
usually
Thursday?
about
You do something?
Well, we watch like The Voice. That's kind of our thing to do, and we go on dates either Friday or Saturday. Go on a date.
We love to go to Joey B's and sit outside with the fire pits and everything.
That's where
it feels
Josh
like,
used to work. It's
it
a
feels like
local
you're on
restaurant.
vacation.
Speaking of Missouri, do you think you'll ever move out of Missouri?
I know they're talking about all
Because-
these home renovations, and we're like,
I'm like, wait a second, are you going to leave that
Sell
house?
that thing.
Because all of your grandkids are in Arizona.
We'll see. I mean,
Someday.
I really like the 4 seasons. I like the green grass. I like seeing the deer in my backyard. I like our house. And they make fun of me about the deer.
Like a deer.
The
My dad
green,
sends
green
me-
grass.
He sends me pictures of the deer about every other week. I'm like, Dad, I get it. You have deer in your backyard.
Squirrels, rabbits, birdies,
Yeah.
I hated
hummingbirds.
those deer. When I was a 7-year-old, I was trying to grow a garden, and they kept eating all my
man.
plants. They ate all my tomatoes. They ate all
my
veg-
potatoes.
all my
Potatoes.
potatoes. The
No,
potatoes.
there was a couple summers. Yeah, he really did work hard. You were like a little farmer.
Yeah, now you use my garden as like a dumping ground for all of your grass clippings. It's like a
Actually,
little
I grew
compost.
cannas and elephant ears in it this year.
No way.
Because the deer don't like cannas and elephant ears. I learned that those
He's became a
Plants.
plant and a bird man.
plants are not appealing to the
He's
deer.
a plant and bird
But yeah, I
man.
got like 4 or 5 hummingbird feeders, and it's fun to watch them.
He just sits out there and watches his hummingbird.
I'm
Is
an
that
old-
scary?
old
I don't-
guy.
For me, like I'm 25, and when I turn 25, I'm like, oh frick, I'm a quarter of a way to 100. Like my life is not
Matthew
infinite.
J-
And so is that scary to be in your 50s and think, okay, now I'm having grandkids. I don't know. You just realize my life doesn't last forever. Like I have a time clock on this earth. So is that freaky at all? With do I stay in St. Louis? Do we move? Do we do part-time in Arizona and part-time in Missouri? Because that's what a lot of snowbirds do. What have you guys thought about that?
Well,
We're not trying to pressure you.
No,
We
no.
will always come back and visit.
Yeah, we will.
No, I totally, especially Josh now moving on and you guys having kids. And it's really weird. It's fortunate and unfortunate. At my job, when someone passes, we get an email and, just to show the visitation and if
Yeah.
we want to send a card or go to and I mean, like every other week, someone in their 50s
Oh
is
my
passing.
gosh.
And, we're 57 and 59. I don't care. And, whatever. And so that's kind of when I've stepped back and I'm like, I've always been a saver. I've always been saving for a rainy day and always waiting to enjoy this or enjoy that. And I'm like, I'm going to start enjoying things. Like, we've came here out here a lot
Yeah.
for us because we're so conservative and saving our money and everything. But I'm like, what else are we living for if it's not for our kids and our grandkids? Like, I want to, if they'll have us, I want to go out there and
We'll
see them.
always have you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I know someday if you guys stay here, we will definitely be coming. It's just, we have a lot of friends. I
Yeah.
have my
Yeah.
group of women Bible study, John does, and and our couples, and we have our people, right? But you're our favorite people. It's just that
We're the favorite kids.
no, our kids are our favorite people, and our
so like
grandkids,
me, not Caleb and Abigail.
our children. But anyway, it's going to be hard.
It's a
but-
little easier now with the technology to keep up with your family and friends.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch you guys do this podcast or Instagrams. So I just feel like I'm getting a snippet of what you're doing every day. And
Yeah.
I'm almost getting more insight as what you're doing than if I was even out here. Because you're filming so much that I'm saying, oh
That's
my gosh,
sick.
I didn't realize that this is so important to you. And
I think that's
the
weird.
things that you've done and things that make you laugh. Like the interview of you interviewing Caleb and Abigail.
Yeah.
There's a lot of insight
Details.
that I learned by watching those videos. It was fun.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So we're talking about things in that interview that you wouldn't have
Well,
heard
we
about.
knew
Wow,
a
we
lot
really need
about-
to communicate better with your parents.
I
Mom.
know.
Well, some of the stuff you just don't realize
Because it's
until
the girls to us.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
know,
just
with
weird.
the birth. We
Like
were learning some
Abigail,
of the
she was
details.
talking about how she was scared that she could have died.
And being there
And-
alone
I
so
didn't
long.
know
I didn't
that
know
stuff until the podcast. I didn't realize that she was that fearful in what was going on. And she probably doesn't want to go there and talk about it because it's very scary.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff, you see what somebody went through without having to have them address it and bring up those hurts
But
again.
I'd rather be in person.
Yeah, but that
through a
did
TV.
allow me to learn about what she went through.
Yeah.
And how scary it was for her. Because you were crying. And I was crying watching you cry.
I was going to ask if you
Everybody
Oh my
was
gosh.
crying. Yeah.
Why is
John?
it that dad's the emotional one and you're not, Mom? And I'm just like you. I get it from you. I'm not emotional.
Because she's mean.
Okay. Just you don't have to
Whoa.
You don't have to visually show it to mean that you're not hurt inside. You
Yeah.
don't have to cry. I'm hurting inside, but that doesn't mean I have to show it.
Do you fight the tears or are they just not?
I-
I cannot fathom not being an emotional person. I don't understand.
I think since I was raised, my dad was pretty tough, and we were all girls at the time when I was home. It was always like, you shouldn't cry, tough it up, and like be tough. And so that was like considered a weakness, which is sad. That's not right. I mean, but that's how I was raised. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I am.
Are your sisters emotional?
They're more so than me, but I'm the oldest, so I think it was the firstborn kind of, suck it up for the family, whatever. But I mean,
John's the teary one.
I know.
My gosh, I hate it. I hate being
No.
emotional. When my dad died, I was asked to be the one that would speak on his funeral.
Gosh.
So when I got up there, I started off with a little joke. I thought, okay, if I can get everybody to laugh, it'll help me get through this. So I said, and I'm serious. There's two things I hate to do in front of people, and I said to cry is one, and the other one is to throw up. And I hope I can get through this without doing either one. So that's how I started off.
Yeah.
So people kind of giggled, and then I got into it, and it was just tough to talk about somebody you loved and cared for so much, and they're now gone. You're never going to see them again.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just emotional, and I guess I become more emotional as I get older.
You used to not be as much.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is.
As you get older, you're getting more emotional.
I think so.
Softy.
My cousin told me before he died, he says, I think it's just as you get more experiences, you become a little more vulnerable,
Yeah.
and you have more experiences. So as my cousin Chuck's mom died, my Aunt Ruth, I called up to share my thoughts and feelings, and I couldn't even get the words out. I was just tough. Here I was calling to console him, and I'm like,
That happens to me.
yeah,
That
I hate it.
literally
I hate
happens
it.
to me.
And you're at a funeral, and you're going to see somebody,
know.
and you're walking through. Sometimes I don't even know the family that well, and I'm like getting choked up. It's like, this is somebody I barely know, and I'm getting. But it's tough when you see other people cry.
I think that means you're an empath.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
what people say? Or at least
Yeah.
empathetic. I don't
Yeah,
know if
Yeah.
you're an empath.
My dad's
Yeah.
definitely
That's
empathetic.
me. Like people,
Yeah.
I will go
Yeah.
visit to like send my regards if someone's passed, and then they end up consoling me, and I'm just so mortified. I'm like, no, not. It's not about
sorry.
me. I
I
can't
know.
control this.
This episode is sponsored by Nutrafol. Hair thinning impacts a lot of us. In fact, over half of us will experience hair thinning. I didn't even know that. It's not only common, it's very normal. So join the thousands of people who are doing something about their hair thinning with Nutrafol.
My mom's dad was bald, and I'm pretty sure that gets passed down to me, so I'm probably going to go bald one
It's
of these
interesting
days.
how it's the mom's dad.
I can already see like a little bit going out. That's actually why I started taking.
dude.
I started taking Nutrafol because of that too, the hair thinning thing.
Yeah, your hair has been thinning just a little bit. I don't really notice it, but Matt's very insecure about it. But I also can say that my hair is thinning because if you've seen our shower wall anytime recently, I just have an art of my hair that
Dude,
falls
yeah,
off. In the
actually, it's
shower.
crazy. There's so much hair on the wall in our shower.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement. It's clinically proven to improve hair growth, visible thickness, and strength. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code UNPLANNED. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code UNPLANNED. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code UNPLANNED.
Now back to the episode. I know, Mom, we were talking about Abigail and how she felt like she might be close to death when she was giving birth this year, and I think you had a similar experience when you were giving birth to Caleb, my older brother, in 1996. What? Tell me about that, because I'm sure you probably could relate listening to the podcast. You were probably freaking out, probably really scared when you were giving birth to. Was he 10 pounds? Was he over 10 pounds?
10 pounds, 4 ounces.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
And
big
she had a
baby.
vein coming out of her forehead, pushing so hard. And
I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh. I was like, and they had the suction cup out and forceps. I'm like, my son, is
Oh
my son
my
going to be
God.
okay?
They don't use those anymore, I don't think,
Is
any
this,
of that.
Is this going to be okay? Am I going to lose him? Is he going to be born with birth defects? And, stuff like that
I
happens.
don't know when
And-
they decide to do a C-section.
Oh my gosh. I was scared.
Well, yeah,
to
why did they
death.
not decide
I
to
don't
do a
know.
C-section?
I don't
We're
know.
young and stupid. We didn't know this was our
Yeah, you
first
don't know what
child.
you
We
don't
don't
know.
go. We don't go like, when did you do a C-section? You know what I mean?
And you guys didn't have the internet. Like, how did you learn
No.
about any of this stuff? Did you just
You
talk
had to
your
go
friends?
to classes. You had to go
Okay.
to birthing
And you just have
classes.
to have faith in the system and your doctor and,
And
the,
faith in God.
and the nurses and yeah. But
Um,
if things don't, because this is not supposed to be a perfect world, so we're not going to get out of this thing without having challenges.
Okay, so I knew he was big, but I didn't know how big. They just said they thought he was over 9 pounds. Josh, they told me they thought he was over 10 pounds. They did know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was my water broke. So I said, thank you, God, because I was thinking I wouldn't know. I was afraid I wouldn't know, because they said happening every 5 minutes for an hour long, all these crazy things. And so I'm thankful my water broke and got there and I
Were
did
you
have
full term?
Yes, I was just a few days before.
Okay.
And
Wow.
that whole story, I had him a day before Audrey.
Yeah, my
And
cousin.
We had a car phone. I can't believe that. John
Wait,
had
a
like
car phone?
I know we called Cindy. Wasn't
That's
it
so
from
I don't know if it was
her?
a built-in car phone, but the technology, it wasn't as good as it was.
I can't believe
is
I
today.
can't think of a world without smartphones.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so
No.
weird. That
Oh, no.
So a car phone
But
was
that
a very
was cool. It was
unique
like a thing in the car.
built
Yeah.
in.
And
Yeah.
so you called your sister on your car
Because
phone.
she was supposed to deliver before me. She was due before me.
Okay.
And so she was already past her date. So they were going to induce her on Tuesday. And this is Sunday night, my water broke. And I'm calling her at like 11 p.m. And she knew, why would I be calling at 11 p.m.? She goes, you are not headed to the hospital. I'm like, yes. And she goes, and I'm the oldest and she's second. She's like, you just could not let me beat you in one thing. Why can't you let me win at one thing?
Well, you're competitive. You're very.
I am very
When we
competitive.
play family games on family game night, you want to beat everybody.
That's why I just sit back and don't
even if
play.
even if
I
that means
just
breaking
win.
the rules.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't
So
break
when,
the rules.
When you disclosed to your mom that we're going to have a baby, and then right after that, your sister disclosed that she was going to have a baby, your mom was like in big time shock. And then here it is, fast forward, I don't know how many years later, 25 years, you and your brother both disclosed you're going to have babies about the same time.
Yeah.
And that was, and it's on our little video frame in our kitchen where you guys disclose the fact. And Griffin's got to have a baby brother. And then they all looked at each other. It's like, you said it again. And it was unbelievable. And then you come into Thanksgiving, was it 2 years ago, announcing that you're going to have a baby, and then announcing that you're going to have another baby the same day
And
as
Christmas
Caleb
this
and
year.
Abigail.
Well, that's why we did it at the same time, because we knew the story that you guys had with you and your sister being
Oh,
pregnant. So we thought,
okay.
how cool is this that, 27 years later, this is happening all over again. Or I guess last year, it had been 26 years last year.
Yeah.
So Griffin
Well,
and
back-
CJ are 3 weeks apart? Something like that.
2 or 3 weeks apart.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
back to me.
Back to you almost.
Not that it's about me,
dying.
but so I had pushed for hours. I had an epidural, but they say after a while, okay, now we want you to start pushing. I could not lift this leg because it felt like, I don't want to be too graphic for people that are going to have babies still, but felt like someone was stabbing me with a knife,
Oh my
like
gosh.
right here, every time this leg got lifted. So Dad had to stand on this side and lift my leg every time I pushed because I couldn't do it. I wanted him out, but it hurt too bad. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl. But
So
anyway.
I'm like holding her hand, talking to her through it. And I'm, being in medical sales, I was in surgery a lot, and I just wanted to see what was going on. So I took a peek, and she's, will you focus on me?
I didn't want him
Yelling
down
at me,
there.
squeeze my hand.
I'm
She goes, pay
"Oh."
attention.
So it hurt, pretty bad. And like you said, they had the forceps and this thing that looks like a toilet plunger. It looks like a plunger that they
Pulling
suck.
and
And 3 people got
Caleb.
on top of me. The
and
doctor
they're pushing on her abdomen,
were pushing on
pulling.
me.
It was like unbelievable. I was like, oh my gosh.
Did they stick the forceps up there to pull Caleb
No,
by the
his head started to come out, but he wasn't, like the shoulders weren't coming out. So they're like pulling on his head and trying to move his shoulders.
Oh, and the other thing, they had a team in there for him because he had swallowed
Yeah, what is it called?
Marcosum.
Marcosum?
Marconium? But what is it
No,
called?
Marcosum.
Amniotic fluid?
No,
No, like
it was the
it's
poop. There's a better name for it. So all you people in the medical
So
world,
there was
sorry.
like-
It,
but yes.
It like rhymes with Marconium, I think.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word right now.
Yeah, Isn't
Yeah,
that
you'll-
terrible? We
Dang.
look silly.
Watch the comments, but we don't know how to
and
spell
so
it.
there was a whole team around his little bed
Aw.
when he came out too, because I had to take that out, so he didn't get that in his lungs. Anyway, so it all worked out fine, but I went to weigh him and he was 10.4, and that was rough, but thankfully. And then they had like this girl that was studying to be a nurse. I couldn't go to the restroom. I kept trying, so then had to get the catheter, and she was practicing and couldn't. And I'm like, can we finally just get someone that knows what they're doing? I'm very sorry.
Yeah, you
but
told me she was sticking you with a needle to like draw your blood and like run tests on
yeah,
you, or what
well,
exactly
to
happened?
do the catheter.
Oh,
to put the
she was trying to put the
catheter.
catheter in, and she couldn't put it in.
because she was like practicing. She was
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't handle any more pain. Can you please get somebody?
So here it is. Meconium. Aspiration
Okay.
syndrome occurs when a newborn breathes a mixture of meconium and amniotic fluid into the lungs around a time of delivery. Meconium. So meconium.
I don't know how they
This
knew
is like
that,
when
but
we're
they
at
did.
dinner as a family and somebody says something and then you go on your phone. We're like, what is Dad doing?
I like
And
to
then,
be informed.
And then 5 minutes later, you're like, meconium.
Was it like traumatic enough that you were like scared for the second baby, or
Obviously not, because Matt was 19 months later.
Yeah,
I guess
okay.
that's the blessing that you kind of forget. Not forget, but it's not as bad. And it was also wonderful. We really weren't wanting to have one that quick, but we thought we might have some challenges because a lot of our friends, it took a while for them to have their second baby. I don't know why. We're like, well, we might as well try. But we are blessed that we look at each other and get pregnant. Like every one of you were the first try.
Yeah.
So we got pregnant the first try, and you were super easy because he was 9'2",
Compared to 10-4.
Oh, yeah. So the birth
and
was a breeze.
it was only 19 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't say what I normally would say.
What? What would you... You said that I was the runt, right?
You came out easy.
No, I said I've had worse bowel movements.
Oh, my gosh.
crazy? She did everything for you that it's just so hard to fathom. Like,
That gave me a lot of respect for you guys. Going through raising 2 boys, like, I realized how much you did for me. And I don't think I quite
no,
have
you
expressed
can't know.
that.
Yeah, you need to tell them.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are amazing parents. Like, you
No.
guys did so much
No.
for me and my brothers. And I don't know if I've
Well, thank you.
properly thanked you for everything you did raising me. And,
It's about darn time.
Nursing you
and
for
nursing me. You nursed me
14
for
months.
14
Yeah.
14 months?
Caleb,
Wow.
14
I didn't know you did
months.
14. I thought you did a year.
Yeah, you're
No,
getting on the school bus and it's like, come on, he's got to get on the bus.
I don't know where 14. Caleb just did 14, and then I was pregnant with you. So then I was like, oh, I have to, like you were, you have to stop. No, and for the women that can't, and it's hard, and like I know one of my sisters, it was a difficult thing, and they wouldn't latch, and don't beat yourself up, but I thought it was going to be weird, and like I don't know if I can do this, but I ended up loving it and enjoying it. And because my mind kind of never shuts off and is always working, it was a time that I could relax and just enjoy my time with the baby and not feel guilty that I wasn't doing something.
Were you working part-time while I was a baby, or did you completely go full-time being a mom by then?
Yeah, so your whole until Josh was born, which was 4 years later, I worked part-time. So those 2 days that I went into work, I pumped.
Okay.
It was so weird back then. It was in a restroom. Like they didn't even have a room for me. But
Wow.
it was the handicap restroom, and it was big, and there was a desk and a chair for me to pump in there.
Wow.
So I did that with Caleb and you.
Were you treated fairly as a mom who was trying to work? Like, did you feel as if you had any loopholes to go through or roadblocks as someone who's trying to work and also be a mom?
I think especially back then, it was all engineers. It was mostly all men. I think they were respectful.
Okay.
The only weird thing was having to be in the bathroom, and now it's not that way. There's a real room
Oh,
for a
that's
couple of the
nice.
moms. Right where I did in this bathroom next door is a little room for these 2 women on my floor. So that's awesome. And now they get maternity leave, and there's actually paternity leave. Like
That's
I
awesome.
had to use my sick leave and vacation.
Wow.
Like I wasn't sick, but that's okay. I'm not mad. I'm glad things have gotten better, for women today. So
Did you guys have any troubles postpartum? Did you experience any postpartum depression, or did you have any challenges that you remember from that time after having kids and trying to figure things out afterward?
She did I think you did a good job. I know we were very aware of it. There was times and she get headache once in a while, but I'm sure there was probably some times when you were sad, and I think it had to do with the lack of sleep. Had a lot to do with it, because there's a few times that I remember you were just having to push through, and she's always been very, very tough and amazing about not complaining and pushing through. So, but I think it had to do with lack of sleep. At least that's the way I addressed it.
Caleb, I got the infection with the milk.
Oh, mastitis.
Mastitis.
Yes, I believe that was with Caleb. And then with Josh, I had the spinal migraine.
Yeah, we're leaving a hospital almost to the parking lot, and the headache was just terrible. She goes, "There's something, I can't go home like this." So it was like Thanksgiving Day we were headed out.
Yeah.
And we went back. They had to do something called a blood patch, where they take a little bit of blood out and put it in your back, and the headache goes away. And that's what they had to do for you.
But I had 3 babies. I had 3 kids, so I
Did Abby have that too? Did they do that? Okay.
I know.
Abby gets migraines a lot, kind of like you do, Mom.
No, but realize I don't know why, but that's something that actually got better with pregnancy.
Oh, good.
I didn't get hardly any migraines the entire time I was pregnant, both times.
But now
Wow.
you're back to getting them again, I think. Because you
I think
had
I
one
just need to
today,
get
didn't
pregnant
you?
again.
Yeah, you need to get pregnant again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But
yeah,
then
citrus.
Josh, even though he was 10.5, it wasn't as bad as Caleb because that, me and my first. But Josh, I went into the doctor 4 weeks before his birth, and I'm thankful the doctor was gone. And the nurse practitioner saw me, and she just got off maternity leave. And I walked in, and I always look like Santa Claus. It's just like all here. And she said, "Oh my gosh, that baby is in the 10s." And this was a Friday. And I'm like, "You're kidding." And she's like, "No." She did all these different measurements and everything. And she's like, "Yeah, it's in the 10s. I want you here Monday to see the doctor. And I'm almost positive you will be induced on Tuesday, the next day." And so on Monday when I was there, the doctor's like, "You're not in the 10s. She's crazy," all this stuff. Then he looked at the chart, did some measurements. He goes, "He's in the 10s. I want you here tomorrow." So we came in. He's 3.5 weeks early, Josh. They took the fluid to make sure his lungs were developed enough. That's all they did was test that. We got a call and they said, "They're developed. Come back in. We're going to induce." And then he was born that night.
So you were 36.5 weeks?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I waved
But
at
it was
Griffin.
still-
He just got back home with his Uncle Josh.
Yeah, my brother's taking Griffin on a
Josh,
walk through the
the
neighborhood.
10.5. Yeah.
Um,
So
I'm also so curious because back in your day, like, what did you guys do for birth control? Because IUDs weren't really a thing,
Matt
right?
asks his
Separate
parents
bedrooms.
everything.
That's why you sleep in separate bedrooms.
no.
Separate bedrooms.
No, but didn't you tell me, like, when I first mentioned an IUD to your mom, didn't you say that back in your day there was a big scare with IUDs?
Well, she thought you said IDE.
Stop it.
Improved explosive device. Or
Oh,
that's
that's an
IED.
IED. That would be an IED. Funny joke, Dad. That was good.
Ba-dum-bum.
You're wrong. I think it was more like tampons and things had caused different issues with women.
Okay.
Toxic
Oh
shock.
yeah,
Yeah.
your generation didn't use tampons.
No.
Which, like, when
It was
Abby used
scary.
I was like, oh, my mom, like, when I was a kid and I was cleaning your bathroom and cleaning those hairy floors, I always saw your
You
all
bring
your
this up like you did it
all
daily.
your feminine products would be like next to all of our cleaning supplies. And so I was like, oh, this is a pad. Moms use pads. And so Abby using a tampon, I'm like, this is a completely foreign thing to me. This
Yeah.
like a tampon.
I guess my mom scared me to death, just because of her generation.
Yeah.
We learned from our moms. But yeah, and then I tried the pill a few times, but it made me feel really bad. I just
Yeah.
didn't feel myself and felt
I felt fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That went over like a lead
So
balloon.
anyway, but after 3 boys, Dad always said, "I will take care of it." There's
So you
no,
never once thought,
Me too.
maybe we want a 4th?
Well, I did, and he said, "No, no, no."
Oh, you did.
Well, actually, after the 2, kind of like you guys, when you were exhausted when Matt was born,
yeah.
Dad was like, "I think this is enough." I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no! You promised 3. You promised." I said, "Let's just give it a
Okay.
time. Give it time."
And you
then-
did. You gave it a decent amount of time.
Yeah,
4
4 years.
years.
They're 4 years apart. Yeah.
Well, I said 8. I was like, the other day, I was like,
He's
Abby.
like, double that.
I was like, you know what I just
But we
realized? I was like,
started
we
later.
could have children in our 30s. Maybe we could have another kid 8 years from now.
I
So that's
think
what I was thinking.
it's better to have them closer in age
Well,
than have
not-
them that far apart.
Well, that's what I thought too until I had to. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't do this.
I think it's easier as time goes by because when Caleb was
They'll
born,
help. They'll help.
he needed a lot of attention, and then you were born, and it was tough until
18 months.
you got to
or
be
so.
about 2, 3 years old, and you guys were entertaining each other and playing
You
with
would
one
just sit
another,
there and play.
it took a lot of pressure off
Ew.
mom.
Yeah. But then Dad
those days.
went and got the chop. We actually went to see the doctor right after Josh was born. And he said
He got the chop.
Yeah, vasectomy.
I was like, I cannot figure out what
You
she
call
meant.
that chop chop?
She does.
How long do we have? Wait, a year?
Yeah, they want you to wait about a year to make sure the baby is a year old before you go through the vasectomy, because if something happens, then you might want to have another
Yeah.
child. And if you ever
They
had
said,
the
we
vasectomy,
know you're
then-
not replacing it, but some people are so sad. It's just what they want. So we don't want to rush into this.
which I
They asked me
understand.
when I got my C-section if they wanted to tie my tubes.
Wait, actually?
They said I had to sign the paperwork, and I was like, wait. I was
Wait,
like, no. I was
whoa.
like, absolutely do not
That
do
Wait,
that.
seems
actually-
crazy.
But then they said that because I'm so young, that even if I said yes, they would have really, really pushed back on
Okay.
it.
Oh,
Because-
yeah,
I
because you're
guess-
not in
Well,
your
I-
right mind
I
either.
know, but isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, I thought about that with you getting an IUD again. I thought, well, maybe I could just get a vasectomy because they are reversible. But I did some research,
You don't
and
need
it's
to
not.
go into all
it's
that.
not 100% accurate though. So
And
you
it's
can.
painful.
Super painful.
Oh,
It is?
We have a friend that did.
Oh gosh.
Oh, painful to reverse, but not to get
is
it done.
Reverse, not the original.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, reversing
My
is
friend,
painful.
he had it done. It's like being kicked in the groin by a horse.
Oh my gosh.
I have no sympathy. I'm sorry.
Me neither. Sorry. No. No. Just
I don't
wait.
blame you. I don't blame you.
But no, you will do it. It's the least you can
Oh my
do.
gosh! Of course I'll do it.
That's
I
what
still
Dad
can't
said.
believe like
I'll hold your
the whole
hand.
concept of
Yeah.
birth is just so crazy to me. It's just so.
Matt's scarred more than me.
I'm so
fine.
I'm so thankful for Abby doing that because I saw everything happen, and yeah. What are your favorite memories of being parents? Favorite memories of us?
I think just seeing you guys interact with each other and then watching some of those old videos
Yeah.
of how you reacted. And I think when we took the pacifiers away from you guys and we had the Binky Fairy come and take the pacifiers away, and having a flyer at the, I think it was like Easter time, saying that the Binky Fairy came, took the pacifiers, and you got these gifts. And you guys, bought into that, and that was fun. And just, I don't know, just watching how you guys interact with each other in some of the videos, it was just fun. I think your best memories, are probably between when the kids are about 2 to about 7, but then it's just different fun things,
Different
Wait,
phases.
the Binky Fairy, he's real, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure because we didn't talk about that one.
That was mainly for Caleb. He just
yeah.
would not stop with the binkies.
But it was fun watching you. I was reliving this when you were in a show at the Muni, Sound of Music, and I was scared to death. And you had a solo, and that show is the largest outdoor theater, I think, in the country, right? The Muni.
It's the largest outdoor musical theater in North America.
And here I am, I don't know, about 15 rows from center, watching you on stage and performing. And
You were a nervous wreck.
Oh my gosh. And you were up there singing and dancing and did a great job. And this is right before he found out he had a tumor in his back. So you were in pain and you were pushing through it, and you did a great job. And like 2 weeks later after that performance, we found out you had a tumor and you had to have major surgery in your back. And I don't know, that was a very proud moment to see you up there on stage, having learned all those lines and perform and just knocking out of the ballpark in pain. And you just loved it. And I was just
Dad.
very proud of you.
Something you told me a couple months ago was you miss when me and my brothers would hide in the kitchen when you came home from
Oh my
work,
gosh, it
and
was
we'd
so fun.
jump out and scare you, and you pretended to be scared every single time. And now with Griffin, when I play with him and I jump out and scare him and he giggles and laughs, like I can't help but think about that same memory
Yeah.
that you had with us.
Yeah.
We had like this half wall. So yeah, you
Yeah.
could hear you coming in the garage, and we'd hide behind, you guys
Yeah.
would hide behind the
And
wall.
Mom coordinated that. She goes, "Oh, Dad's home, so hide," and surprise him. And you'd come out, there's, "Hey, Dad!" And it was so fun.
And you blink and they're 6'2",
Yep.
6'3".
It's so sad.
But now I'm enjoying my grandchildren and enjoy seeing you guys together. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're
I
blessed.
I think being a parent is gonna make me more emotional. I think it already has. Cause
Oh yeah.
It has. He started getting a little tiny
Attaboy.
bit more emotional.
But I'm telling you, you'll get more emotional as
Yeah.
a grandparent. And that's the thing. My sister asked me, she said, I don't get it. Like all of our friends that are having grandkids, they're like, it's so good. I said, well, it's because as a parent, even though you're playing, you're thinking,
Yeah.
I need to make dinner. I need to fold this laundry. I need to do this. You're not fully just there.
Yeah.
Especially me, and it's hard to shut my brain off. But as a grandparent, I don't have to do anything else. I can just play and do what I want. You know what I mean? I don't have to
Yeah.
make dinner. I don't have to do the laundry or whatever. So that it's so awesome.
Dirty diaper. Here you go. You change them.
It's wonderful.
Well, you guys are amazing parents.
You guys are really, really
Thank
good
you
parents.
for
Well, thank you.
always
And
being
parents
there.
Thank you for
in
having
law.
us on your podcast.
Thank you for coming
Thanks.
on. You guys are the most supportive. You guys are like the most supportive people of anybody for us. And even when we had like
100.
I think we had like
They were
10
sharing our videos on Facebook.
you guys shared our videos on Facebook, and we had like 10 subscribers on YouTube.
And I bumped you up to like 15, I think.
They're
It was just so sweet.
And also just think about how different each of your boys are. They're vastly different, all three of them.
Yeah.
And you support each of them where they're at so well and just encourage them. And you're willing to talk about anything with them and just always, you guys
Thanks.
also always seek advice from other people and are very humble in that way and just
Thanks.
yeah.
really good. parents.
Especially you, Dad, with advice. I think you've always been very humble and asking for how you could be better, how you could be a better dad.
Oh yeah, you ask that all the time.
Yeah, to your kids.
And it's just an
Yeah.
honest question. I really respect
Yeah.
that you don't try to pretend that you have it all figured out. And I think that's something that I learned as an adult. Like, it's almost as if there's really no real adults in this world. It's as if the adults are really just the bigger kids, and we act like we have it all figured out, but we don't, you know?
Well, we made a lot of mistakes for sure, but yeah, I do think the one thing we did pretty good, like you said, I had me and my two sisters, the three of us are the same age difference as our three boys, like exactly. And my dad meant it well, but like wanting us all to be the same, do this. And I was like, oh, we want them to be individuals and their strengths, and they all three have different strengths and they're great. So they can all be who they want to be, and we'll support that. Right?
I feel like that's the greatest goal as a parent is to just like help your child find their own strengths and just how to build those up
and love that.
and
Yeah.
love that.
So we're videotaping this the day before Thanksgiving, so we have a lot to be thankful for. So thank you for being great parents, and thank you for all the things that you
Hosts.
do for us. And I'm looking over here so I don't get emotional because I do that a lot, and we couldn't be happier. And I'm so blessed to be out here in Phoenix visiting with you, the two of you. And this will probably air sometime right before Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody. We love
your dad
our
needs a
family. We
podcast.
love this opportunity to share our times together.
And stay here.
Let us know if my parents should start a podcast. Maybe they'll have to.
I think I'd get canceled in 2 days.
You're too emotional.
Well, if you guys haven't already gotten your What's Up
Yeah.
Dudes merch, we'll have it in the description. It's also available. Like, I think there's like the shop on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can literally just like go right underneath the
It's
video.
right there.
And it's literally right there. And it's also at unplannedpodcast.com. Did you know that we have our own website now? Unplannedpodcast.com.
I heard
Wow.
you on a call say that yesterday.
Isn't that cool? We love you guys. And as always, 3, 2, 1.
Peace out, dudes.